When did you get sober?
So when I was 28, my 28th birthday, I went out and I took like 35 mollies, and I was fucking out of my mind. Like I went to go see a concert, and I was in fucking Madison Square Garden. So I show up to my friend's place, and I go, I'm going to take 5 mollies, and we're going to go to this fucking concert, and we're going to have a good time. So let's say the concert's at 10. I'm making up times. I don't remember the times. Let's say the concert's at 10. At 7 o'clock, I take 5 mollies, and I'm fucking drinking tequila and hanging out. So now all of a sudden it's 9:30, and I'm like, you know what? It's my birthday. And I kind of had in my head, like, I'm going to chill out after this. But I always did. You know, I always had that thing of like with Percocets. I'd be fucking taking Percocets every day for a year, and every night I would get in bed and be like, all right, tomorrow we're not going to take the fucking Percocets. We're going to start, or we're going to take 3 instead of taking fucking 12. We're going to, and then the next day you just fall back into that routine. You forget, you wake up, you fucking chew one, then all of a sudden an hour later you take another one, then you're fucking popping Xanax and this. So we're about to leave for the concert, and I go, you know what, I'm going to take 5 more fucking mollies and just be off my fucking ass at this concert. And I go, there's nobody going to be looking at me. It's going to be fucking dark. I had like sunglasses on and a fucking, a scarf, and I'm all fucking, I'm like, we're going to have a fucking ball. And it was like a DJ, so I was like, everybody's going to be off their fucking ass. Then we'll go out and party after. So I take 5 mollies, and then I took like a bottle like this, and it was ginger ale. And I put tequila in it, and I cracked 5 mollies in there. And I was like, in case I'm in the concert and I feel like it's going down, because at the time I wasn't some guy who 10 mollies fucking ended my life like some dad from fucking the suburbs. I was already taking numbers like that, if not a little less, but it was my birthday. I was like, I'm gonna take a little more. So I got this ginger ale full of tequila and the molly, and I'm walking into the concert, and I'm fucking like, my teeth are fucking chattering. I'm feeling good, but I'm loving it. I'm with fucking 2 of my best friends. I'm on top of the world. Everything's great, but it's now when I think about it, I'm like, I was fucking rocked. And I get to the front of the line, and some guy who looked like a cop, but he's probably just a security guard, he's like, hey, and he sees me, and in your head for that 1 second, you just go, oh, it's all over. You don't know why. You just go, oh shit, he knows or something. And he goes, you can't bring that in. And I had the fucking ginger ale in my hand with the tequila, and I was so relieved that he just said, you can't bring that in, and not you're fucking coming with me or you're under or whatever. I unscrewed the fucking tequila with the 5 mollies, drank that, and walked into Madison Square Garden. And I'm on 15 mollies in maybe 4 hours, something like that. And I'm in there, and I'm just fucking rocked. Like, I remember walking through the fucking hallways, and people have on the fucking glowing fucking lights thing. And I remember, like, getting to our seats, and people were also fucked up at our seats. So they're, like, high-fiving this. And I'm saying, it's my birthday. So I'm saying to these people, thank you for coming. And they're looking at me like, thank you for coming. Like, thank you for coming to my birthday. Like, I think somewhere in my head, I thought it was my fucking birthday party, the Madison Square Garden with fucking 20,000, whatever, 40,000 people, however. And I had a great night that night. We fucking party. We stay at the concert. Everything's amazing. And so that's a Friday. Like Saturday, Sunday, I'm still up. I'm taking Molly every like hour, taking a little. I go to bed. I wake up, and I remember like it was probably 4 days after that, I was supposed to go to a birthday dinner, and I remember being like, I can't get out of bed. Like, I remember being like just feeling cold and feeling like shit and awful, and I was like, I think I might have done it this time. Like, there might be no coming back from where I am. Like, I would fucking hear something in my hallway and get sketched out. Like, I was fucked up. And I remember saying, I got to go to the doctor because I couldn't eat anything. I would eat, I would throw up. I'd eat, I'd throw up. It was just over and over. So I go to the doctor, and he's like, when's the last time you ate a fucking vegetable? And I'm like, I don't know, you got chicken fried rice. They got peas in the fucking chicken fried rice. I eat. He goes, you got to stop what you're doing right now. He goes, you got to stop drinking for a while. He goes, you got to eat some fucking vegetables. You got to try doing some fucking kind of exercise. I hadn't done exercise in, I don't know, 6-7 years, like any like even like a walking on a tread, like I actually had a treadmill in my living room because sometimes I would get fat, like I would gain fucking 20 pounds, and I'd get on the treadmill on incline and watch a fucking TV show or whatever. But like besides walking, I had done nothing for so long. And he's like, you got to do this, you got to do that. So that week, I remember I left his office and I went to a place that made fucking vegetable juices, and he goes, go get just all vegetable juice. So I go, all right. I drank that, and I felt high. Like, I felt but because my body had no fucking nutrients for 7 days, but also like I felt good. Like I was like, holy shit, like I could keep this down. My body, I haven't had vegetables in who knows how long. I feel real good. I went to like the park the next day. I meet up with my friend and he's like, yeah, we're going to start fucking doing yoga. You should start. So I start doing the fucking yoga and that, and I'm still taking the Percocets and the Xanax and everything. But I was like, I made the decision then that I was going to stop doing Molly and stop drinking. And that was 7 years ago. I haven't been drunk since then, but I was at a dinner like 4 years ago and somebody gave me a vodka soda by mistake. And I thought it was a soda. I just said club soda and the guy thought it was vodka club soda because everybody I was with is partying. And when I took a sip of it, I realized there was vodka in it. And I remember people like freaking out and it was this whole big thing. And I became obsessed with like not liking the fact that I was that guy. Like oh no, we don't know what could happen. He has no control over the. Who knows what would happen if he drank that. So I called up my best friend. So I'm 34 now. I met him in preschool, like 30 years. His name is Rex. He's the fucking greatest guy. And I go, I need you to come with me to dinner, and we're gonna open a bottle of wine, and I'm gonna have 4 or 5 sips of a glass of wine. I just need to know what's gonna happen. If I have to live my life differently. I just felt this way. Like if I drink these 5 sips of wine and it leads to a fucking crazy night of partying and this, then I know I'm never gonna drink again, whatever. But I need for myself to know, because I was laying in bed at night like, what if that sip that I took was too big? What if there was more alcohol? What if there was more vodka in that fucking glass than there was? What if that was straight vodka and I took a sip? Would I have fucking fallen off? So I wanted to know for me. And I went to meet my boy and we had a fucking couple sips of wine and that was it. It was over. I was like, okay, now I know. I'm not so weak. Or, and I'm not trying to say that if somebody can't do that they're weak. I just wanted to know, am I this weak for around alcohol? If I have 4 sips, is it going to take over my fucking mind and make me do things, just make me fall back into that same person I was? I couldn't shake that not knowing thing. And, yeah, so it's been 7 years, and there would probably have been 3 instances where at dinner I took a couple sips of wine. Otherwise, I haven't had a single drink. I haven't been drunk. I haven't touched Molly or Coke has been around the same. Like Coke was like 23 and I'm 34, so 11, 12 years, something like that. And then Percocets is less. Percocets is like 4 or 5 years, maybe 5 years. Xanax took me a long time to get off. Xanax is a fucking bitch. For me, everything was easy compared to like. People talk about opiates, and I guess obviously the withdrawal from something like heroin is a lot rougher than Percocets. But what I had to deal with the benzos is like a fucking. It's just the worst night because.
How long was the process?
Years, it was a really long time because I was taking something like roughly 3 I would take like a bar and a half every day, maybe like a little bit more. But it just became, which is not that, in my head, I don't think anything is a lot, but I feel like that's not a lot, but it became 6 years of doing that every day or 7 years or something. And so I had to go see a specialist because I couldn't shake it. I'm like the Percocets I figured out on my own. The drinking, I was like, I'm just, I'm done, everything. When with the benzos, I couldn't figure out how to even lessen my dose. And I'm going to tell you what the guy told me. Obviously, anybody out there, don't take my fucking advice. I'm no doctor. I'm just telling you what he told me, which was the first thing you have to do is get yourself on a schedule. Because your brain, when you're not on Xanax, it's up here, then you take your Xanax and it's here. And sometimes you don't take it for 3 hours, so it gets back. He's like, you have to get on a regular thing. So if you say 2 hours after I wake up, I take my first Xanax. Then I take one every 3 hours, and I take the exact same amount. So I was like, oh, so that was my first step. That was my first meeting. He goes, just start doing that. I go, okay, no problem. Next time I came to see him, he's like, all right, once you get comfortable with that, he's like, you're going to go less and less, super slow, over and over. So you're going to go from taking 0.5 6 times a day to taking, half of 0.2 or however you want to do it. So he gave me, for the first time in my life, I had a prescription for fucking Xanax, which is crazy. Like it took me quitting to finally get a prescription. I was just getting them on the street, And so he goes, because I'm taking the bars. He goes, well, I'll give you milligrams so that it's easier for you to quit. Because if you have a bar, it's hard to make 0.25 out of a bar or 0.37, whatever you want to do. So he gives me these 0.25s. So I start taking like 1.5 0.25s every 3 hours or whatever it is. And then once I got really low on the milligrams, he goes, all right, now start spacing it into every 4 hours instead of every 3 hours you're taking it. And then you're going to only do it 3 times a day. So this was years of a process.
How did it affect your sleep?
It wasn't too bad because I always kept that one at night, like right before bed. The problem became, what really took me a long time too, was the idea of having none. Right? Like the idea of lessening it was something I really wanted to do. So it was it wasn't too hard. It was like, okay, trying to quit on my own was fucking insane. Like I said it to you earlier, the feeling, the only way I can describe it is like if you're trying to quit Xanax, for me, it's like if your biggest fear is heights and somebody takes you skydiving and right when they open the fucking door to that plane and they turn to you and go, are you ready? And the way that you feel right there looking out however many thousands of feet up, that's how I felt sitting on my couch watching TV. Like, it was just all day that fucking rattling fear of, it was a fucking bitch to open my front door. It was a bitch to get into the fucking elevator. Like, everything was just, it was torture, trying to quit on my own. Well, what he told me to do made it a lot easier. And then my sleep didn't really get affected until it was time to not do any at all. So what happened was, this guy told me, you're gonna have to eventually not do any, and I couldn't do it. Like, I was like, I can't not take that one in the middle of the day and that one at night. Like, I feel like I'm holding on too tight to it. I don't know what to do. So he's like, all right, when you're ready, the same way you did this, when you're ready. So I had to come out to LA for a little bit. I come out, and this guy was a specialist, and he charged $300 to go see him. And after I saw him a bunch, I was like, listen, I can't afford to come see you anymore. So he's like, well, what I'll do is I'll charge you $150 to come see me. So I'm like, okay. So I'm paying the $150 to see him, but I'm also getting the Xanax from him. So in my head, I'm like, well, I'm saving this amount of money by not buying the fucking Xanax, right? So, so he tells me, I'm going to LA for a while. So I come back from LA, however long I was gone, and we have our first meeting, and my bill shows up, and it's $300. And I was like, oh, this guy forgot that we're on a fucking 150 schedule. So I hit him up. I go, hey, remember, it's 150, not 300. And he was like, oh, no, well, you didn't see me for a while. You were in LA. Now that you're back, it's 300. And I was like, what do you mean? We agreed on 150. When were you going to tell me those three? And I don't know if it's the fucking Irish in me, if it's the addict in me, what the fuck it is, but I was like, fuck this. I was like, I'm not taking that Xanax tonight. I don't care if I fucking feel like I'm falling out of a plane. I don't care if I feel like I can't sleep for fucking 3 days. I don't give a fuck. I'm never seeing this dude again, and I'm not restarting this shit with somebody else. And I remember 3 days later, I'd never touched a Xanax ever again.